Hi, welcome to this Business Leader Breakthroughs minisode, where we highlight the best bits of a previous show episode. If you enjoy these quick insights and want to check out the full episode, you'll find the link in the show notes. Or go to thebreakthrough.co. Now let the breakthroughs begin.
Hi there, I'm Dr. Mike Ashby from The Breakthrough Company. This is my business partner, Ryan Castle.
Oh, I see how you stole the intro there.
I did.
That was nice.
I did. We're going to do a little role reversal today.
All right.
Tell me about your week, Ryan. Tell me about how it's been in these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, look, at The Breakthrough, we really avoid using the word busy. So what we tend to do is we find other words that mean the same thing, just so we can avoid doing it. It has been a big couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. There has absolutely been a lot going on.
Up the wazoo, really.
Yeah, good too. Good too.
And how's the kind of sense of progress?
Everywhere I look, there are things that are started and not finished.
Yes. Doesn't that snag your nighty?
Yes. Not much of a nighty wearer, but yeah, I get the idea. Look, the word for me was frustration, and hence the topic for this podcast episode of how do you end your frustration. And I think for me, I'm very clear on our business vision.
I know you are.
I'm very clear on the most important goals that we need. I'm very clear on our purpose, and I'm very clear on the steps that we need to take to get there. Mm-hmm. But damn it, nothing seems to be happening as fast as I would like it to. I know that I was having a significant impact on the team over the last couple of weeks because I was letting my frustration bubble over.
You will transmit whatever's going on for you as a leader. You will transmit.
Yeah. And it's really just not a great place to be as a leader, and I need to do a better job of owning that emotion and thinking about where we're at and how we're going. The organisation can only move at the pace the organisation moves at, not the pace the leader wants it to.
Yeah, that's very wise.
Yeah, so I think it was a good reflection for me to go, hey, frustration, actually not a particularly helpful emotion. Let's acknowledge what we've got on the go, what we're trying to achieve, and then let's be smart about how we do progress things.
How do you kind of know that you are slipping into that frustration? What occurs for you? How do you kind of get that sense?
I think the obvious one is the team are looking for my input or questions, and I'm in the not now.
Right.
The not now zone.
The not now.
The not now zone, where I'm frustrated that things aren't moving, so I'm trying to get in there and push the wheel harder to get things going, and that's a real tell for me is when I'm not available for the team when they've got questions or things they need to know. That's a biggie for me.
So you've got that awareness. What happens now?
What
are you clear about?
Yeah, so I think the first bit for me was what's the attitude that I'm bringing when I walk in the door. So yes, I need the awareness bit. I know that there's some things that really help with my attitude before I even arrive at the door. Right. Exercise is a big one. If I'm getting my exercise in, I know that really, really helps. Doing some things to train the voices in my head, and I find reading and podcasts and things that I find inspirational and insightful really help with that. So they give me good context before I arrive in here. And then something I did a few days ago was actually sat down with a blank piece of paper. I just used the mind map and literally just documented the different areas and what we had going on. And I used what I referred to as the 7 Ps, just as a way to think about it. So people, so our internal team. So a reflection for me, how's each person tracking, what's going on, what's happening. Patrons, of course, what I refer to there is our customers, but customer doesn't start with P, so it had to be patrons. Thinking about them and are we doing a good job, how are we delivering customer experience to them. Great. Next one, platforms. We're a very technology-driven business, so the platforms we're using are very important. And I think regardless of the industry you're in now, every business has to be a technology company.
Every business is a technology business.
And if you're avoiding technology, then you're missing out on efficiency and effectiveness. Product is the next one. So for us, that's about our programs that we deliver, what's happening there. Process. So how do we, everything from how do we get things from the start through to the finish. I think about profit as a wrapper for finance.
Yep.
So things like cash flow and capital and how we're dealing with those. And
it's the kind of sustainability, the financial sustainability of the business.
Correct. How we're tracking.
Yep.
And promotion. So thinking there about sales and marketing. What are we doing to attract new business? What are we doing to keep it? And for me, just to literally use that 7 Ps framework, drop it down on a mind map and go, what have we got going on? It felt a relief because it was out of my head and down on paper.
I know what you mean. I can remember various times when I have had that same thing. Oh my God, there's so much going on in my head. There's all this noise, and it's the noise that causes the stress. It's the lack of clarity. It's the sheer volume of just fragments. Stress is a mismatch between your expectations and reality, quite simply. And your expectations are all in here. Your expectations are that you're across that stuff, you're making progress on it, you're doing it all, it's all happening. Reality is you're not. So I've done the same thing myself at various times. I've just kind of dumped everything into a long, long list. Just get it all out there.
Yep.
And then I can go through and say, okay, here's the big ones, the big to-dos, and here's the little to-dos. Here's the must-dos. And that's a process of prioritization.
Yes.
And the sorting of priorities in the end is, how do we ease the frustration? We choose the things that we want to make the progress on. Is that in a nutshell?
Absolutely.
So you started that process?
Started that process, and just to keep some more P's into this podcast, the precursor P was the purpose piece.
Yes.
So we've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
But before I even did that mind map, I actually wrote in the corner, what's our purpose? Yeah. And our purpose is to change business leaders' lives for good. Yeah. And it gave me one connection back to why we do what we do, because it's so important to us. And secondly, it gave me context. So when I was doing the prioritization, I was like, well, which of these things are going to help us change some more business leaders' lives? And that quickly helped us to, eliminate, I think, a couple of things that I was going, we're not making progress. Yeah. And then it was like, actually, that is still something we want to do, but it's just not critical right now. Right. So let's not.
And relative to the mission, relative to that purpose. Yeah. So that process of stopping and having to think about it is critical and quite hard. Quite hard.
And I think what helps with that is if you can talk it through with someone else. Now, I'm very fortunate that I can come and talk to you about this kind of stuff and go, hey, look, I'm frustrated. This is what we've got going on. Mike gave me fantastic advice, which was stop trying so hard. And, personality type, it's what you do. You just try and you're really committed and passionate about it. But it was such well thought and well delivered advice was, actually just, I have to let things happen at the pace which the organisation can do. So sometimes that means I have to button off and allow things to happen. It doesn't come naturally, but it was wise insight. So look, guys, I think as a bit of a recap, the things you could do, connect to your purpose again. Why are you doing what you're doing?
Yeah.
Get it all down, think about that mind map, maybe use some of those structures around the different areas of your business just to help get it out of your head. Then prioritize. Get really clear on the stuff that really does matter. And it also allows you to do a bit of a declutter.
So important. It actually, I think, one of the things I say is no creates space. And when you say no to something, you say, no, we're not going to pursue that just at the moment. That creates more space for the higher value things. But it does start with, and this is tough, having all those things feels like this would be nirvana if we could get all this stuff done. Actually go back to your 80-20. Only 20% of those things are going to create 80% of the value. So decluttering allows you to focus on those few things that are going to make the big difference. I think the frustration's caused by not feeling that you're in control. Is that a fair call?
Yeah, I think it is. If I reflect, I looked at this thing, I felt like I had 10 projects and all of them were in progress. Nothing was getting finished. And so it felt like everywhere I looked, it was like, I'm not in control of that one because I'm not in control of that one because that's not finished. I'm not in control of that because that's not progressing as fast as I wanted. So,
the frustration's in your head and it's to do with your power to make things happen. So the way to end that frustration is to make some choices. Is to say, well, I'm not even going to try to make that work. That's just going to sit over there until, 3 months down the track or whatever. I'm choosing these things and I'm going to put more effort into those. And I think with that comes a sense of, I've got control over these. These are the ones I choose to do something about. These are the ones I choose to leave for now. And I think when you take control of your environment like that, you're actually taking control of yourself. And then you're saying, you know, the message to yourself is really around, I've got this. You know, these things are within my kind of scope of doability.
Yes.
The kind of, I used to call it the zone of sensible excitement. And those things over there, they can just wait. And having made those choices, actually it is the act of making the choice that gives you a sense of, right, okay, the world is not running me.
Yes.
I'm running
Yes.
my world.
Yes. Spot on.
Yeah. So that's how we end that, you know, to the question, how do we end the frustration? We make some choices. We take control of ourselves and our world.
Spot on.